Hello and welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Ndik Arop, and today I am delighted to be having a discussion about tech and tech careers with Hoda A.Alkhzaimi, President at Emirates Digital Association for Women. Hi Hoda, thank you so much for joining me. It's exciting, seeing you in person like this. So to kick things off, I would want you to introduce yourself. I've seen, a whole lot. Your profile is awesome, is incredible. I'm honored that you're my interview today. So please introduce yourself. Thank you.
I'm extremely humbled to be part of the platform. Thank you, Blessing, and for the ITU for having this global, I would say, leading initiative and giving voices to women in ICT across board. So my name is Hoda A.Alkhzaimi. I'm currently an assistant professor in Department of Engineering in NYU Abu Dhabi. I'm as well a director for a Center for Research and Development. I have, so it's a bit difficult to introduce yourself, I would say. I am as well the president of Emirates Digital Association for Women, which is a non-for-profit organization working to build opportunities for not only for women and children and community, because women are always about the community across board. And also for Women in AI community, I'm the CEO in this region, which is a global community aiming to build opportunities of discourse and also collaboration for women who are working on AI initiatives across different projects in the world. I have, if you want my educational background, then we can start that. If you want my professional background, I can also delve deeper. I started in UAE University by having my information security degree. And then I had a master's degree in mathematics and information coding and cryptology. I followed that up with a PhD degree from Denmark in cryptology and cryptanalysis from Department of Applied Mathematics and Computer Science. And finally, I joined in the R&D sector. I was working while studying, of course, in that journey. But I joined the academic R&D parts of the world. I would say when I joined NYU through the Center for Cybersecurity and my affiliation as an assistant professor, I have my own PhD students and research group who's working on research and cybersecurity, AI, and other aspects. I enjoy my industrial collaborations as well because I enjoy the work that we do cross-board when we work on technology projects on emerging technology, regardless if it's in cyber or it's in trying to contribute to development projects and economic development projects across board, and proving that technology could be the next commodity of ending a lot of development issues across board. So that's me in a nutshell.
A very big nutshell, a very big one. But did you always know you were going to do all this? Did you always know as a little girl that you were going to do all this, or how did the inspiration come? Because I see there is, cybersecurity, so it's a lot. Did you always know?
Did I always knew? I always got asked this question, and I would think my answer would change every time. So I would say no. I enjoyed a bit of exploration period of my life. I knew that I was really good on scientific topics. I was really good in math and science and geology, biology, physics. I came from a family where I was raised by my grandma, of course, my father, and they always push you to be an overachiever, an A+ student, and all of these things. So it's the norm when you are excelling in these topics. Plus, I was also part of a very structured educational system here in UAE. I was very blessed by the time I was here that we have a formal schooling system, a formal university system, a formal escalation where women are being encouraged to go through the whole cycle. So there was a cycle. I always knew that I would finish my school, I get to university, and my grandma, who was not formally educated was always telling me, you have to finish your master's degree and your PhD. So for some reason in my mind, it was drilled that I have to go through this whole cycle to finish my education. So finishing an education was never just getting a bachelor degree, but getting to that level where you finish your PhD and all these aspects. So from then, I know that I'm good at math and science. I remember my first year in university in medical school and medicine school. So I was supposed to be a doctor, but after a year, I know that I wanted to do electrical engineering and security at the same time, which were two subjects which were not combined together under one specialization in the university that I was part of, UAE University. So I started just trying to be part of, the program that supported that. And I was lucky enough to see that being fostered in UAE University. I graduated, then I got a scholarship. I know that I wanted to know how can I build a technology, because now I know how information security system works, but how are they built? And it always provoked me, the idea that we should not be consumers of technology, we should be builders and developers of technology. We should be able, in this part of the world, to develop our own technology. So I wanted to always look under the hood and try to understand how an algorithm is being built, how a piece of code is being built. I enjoyed programming a lot. I enjoyed working on hardware and software. And to me, it was easy. It was a second language. So I would try to advocate to the best I can that everybody should have this kind of initial fundamental skills into technology. And the path took me there to just get a master's degree where I understood how a crypto, which is the most elemental primitive when you build a system, a security system, it's that elemental primitive which are being considered within encryption systems or authentication systems or any other access control system is being built. So I understood the design of it. And after that, I was like, let me understand how is it crypto analyzed? Because you cannot just be a designer. You need to be a designer and a person who could evaluate systems at the same time. A better evaluator and analyst could provide better designs and better, analysts should understand the design by heart. So this is where it went. I think that this was the gradual growth of it. And I was, maybe I should tell you as well, as part of that journey, I was part of an R&D initiative here in UAE. And the R&D initiative promoted and as well encouraged us to do more, to know how to build the technology, to be in charge of the transfer of the knowledge and the know-how build. And this is how it escalated, where it came to the current status quo.
My next question is, I would like to know from here, when next are you going, or what next are you going to do?
So I'm in constant belief of, eternal growth cycles. So I think now we're in 2022, where we believe that growth should be something that is associated with a human being, regardless of how old they are, where they are at life, what expertise they formulate. Because you should be very, very careful when you join any career discipline, because some careers will tell you have to be an expert in some field where you do have the depth of knowledge, and other fields will promote that you do have this horizontal cross-cut knowledge across different industry, cross-cut knowledge across different industries for you to be able to be known as an expert within a field. So you do have to have the breadth of knowledge. In my opinion, in this current era of technology and critical shifts of industries, we need to have both. We need to have the breadth and the depth of how we build our personal expertise, either in ICT or engineering or in math or in any field. And what's the next for me is governed by that ideology. So you shouldn't just focus on being an expert with you in your field. You should also have 360 view of what's happening around you in the field and be able to keep up with that. It is very important today. If you asked me, Blessing, I think prior to this interview in the prep questions, we were asked what kind of assets should be labeled for anybody who is in an ICT field. It's not anymore, STEAM. It's not anymore science, technology, engineering, and math. I would add the A part, which is arts as well. We're trying to tell people you need to be creative, preserve your creativity in order to develop better algorithms to make people's life better. You need to as well understand the psychology of a human being in order to build an unbiased piece of algorithm that might be used in an AI environment to predict behaviors and incentives of people behind screens or in whatever environment you choose to be. You need at a certain piece of time to have that economic understanding of the importance of an emerging piece of technology that you're building. You need to have the business expertise in order to understand, if you are an entrepreneur, how can I raise fund? How can I build a better investment cycle if I exist in an ecosystem where there is no investment towards my technology, and for me to be able to build up the technology? It's not enough anymore for you to be a developer in order to be successful. You need to be all of that together at some point of time. So what's next always for me is to build a better community who have this kind of understanding that growth is limitless and you are the person who are in control of your own growth cycle. So try to make the best out of it across all board.
My next question is, along the line, the journey so far, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud of being one of the initial people who were part of the R&D cycle in building technology in here in UAE, my country. I'm also proud of the perseverance that it took from me and my team to build the current R&D initiative and project. And I think this also dictates my next growth cycle. The sense of accomplishment that you have makes you and push you always, Blessing, and I'm sure you share this sentiment, that we are all global contributors. We're not just local, national contributors. We're global contributors of how industries are being built, of how technologies are being built, of what technologies could form a shift in the way humanity is being built to offset what we're seeing today and kind of negative impacts on, for example, sustainable development goals, accomplishment agenda. And we know technology is one of these silver bullets. So that sense of pride of being a person who built part of this R&D, and right now I'm part of a global, like a really good national team who's still building the next R&D strategies. It gives me an immense amount of pride, and I think how this also gives me responsibility to build more and be more and build the next catalytic change for hopefully having Silicon Valleys stemming from every part of the world, not only from specific regions in the world, but motivate this kind of paradigm shift where we see it celebrating indigenous technology build from different parts of the world, and also extend that power that exists within the ability to build the technology to different countries around the world.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My next question, which I hope will not be the last, have you had any challenges? You must have had challenges. What and how have you overcome these challenges?
Amazing question. I think I would doubt that there will be any person who had a journey in life who would enjoy the journey without enjoying the challenges that are being thrown at them across the journey. It comes with the journey. If you have any journey, you do have to have challenges that comes across the board. It motivates you to be better and grow. Yes, I did have challenges, and I think to be specific, I think the challenge of not having, because I've I've obtained a specific expertise within specific field, and not have it predominantly activated within the region where I live was also a challenge too. So for me to open stream of research and a stream of investments towards specific R&D projects was also a challenge that I enjoyed tackling with the team, enjoyed building the ecosystem, because it's always about an ecosystem. There is no solution that's a short-term solution. You need to always be, when you build these kind of programs for technology build, you need to make sure that, and industries, you need to make sure that you are tackling the investment cycle, finance cycle, before you tackle the ability to bring in specific expertise or to build expertise or to build the know-how within a specific area. So yeah, these were part of the challenges. Do they exist still in terms of in the same category that I've just described? I would say not in the same percentile that they used to exist in the past. However, we will face still specific challenges. What we should always learn from them is we shouldn't be discouraged by them, but motivated by what we see across board within these challenges.
Thank you very much. So my next question is, what are the recommendations to put forward?
Okay, so if we want to go to have three main takeaways to the conversation that we just have, or to the contribution journey, not only of women, but anybody in the ICT field, is to first have a perseverance and clarity on where are you going through this journey. And clarity is not something that you should have from the get-go, from day one, but it's a plan that keeps on being modified throughout the journey. So bear with the change, bear with the modifications that will arise while you are taking this journey. And the second recommendation I will put is like our pursuit of equity, I would say, cross-board, not only for gender equity, not only for inclusivity, and other aspects when we talk about them. Our pursuit is a mutual responsibility. So it means if you weren't part of an initiative that will build an opportunity to someone else, then try today to do something. Because the best legacy that you could leave is not just a piece of code or an amazing startup or a great publication record and a great research contributions, but an opportunity that multiplies. That's the great legacy, is an opportunity multiplier that would exist across board for you and for the community around you and for the global community as well. And the third aspect is never ever accept limitations that will be induced on you by any external or internal factors if you are clear on where you want to go. So just go for it, because I know we live in a world where we are dictated by studies and by scientific research, and the scientific research will tell you today, according to the current factors, that this is the best route to take in life. But in a few years, you will have a different piece of advice because the circumstances changed, the input factors are changed, and there will be a different escalation. So don't limit yourself based on current studies. If you can contribute more and you can grow more in different fields, then do it. As long as you can, have that kind of, sense of content throughout the journey. So these are my three pieces of recommendation and advice.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My next question is, what kind of global initiatives excite you today?
So I think we, as much as we have done in order to support different initiatives for girls and women across board to exist in an equal world and to build opportunities that multiplies for girls in the ICT, we still have gaps across board. So any initiative that's in support of bridging these gaps and providing better opportunities, not only for girls, but for communities across board, is something that excites me. And this is number one. And also the initiatives that comes with bridging the value chain, because when we say today that we need to have better representations of XY number of a group of people, a group of representation or category of representation within the tech world, it's the value chain that we need to fix. It's not just the induction phase. It's not contributing to juniors. It's not contributing to education. It's also contributing to the senior level, to the board levels, to the ability to make decisions on capital structures that exist on the technology field that comes from this minority group, as well as having an equal decision-making process when it comes to inducing better solutions for bridging these gaps. So initiatives that excite me as well is anything that relates to building a better, impactful, long-term value-driven emerging technology industries. And so I'm excited every time we're involved in a project which forecasts the next generation and technology that will change the world for the best. So it's not anymore just building any technology or developing a piece of code, but a piece of code that will actually maybe, for example, contribute to the Sustainable Development Goals or contribute to making a better humanity existing all around us. Thank you, Blessing.
Thank you very much. Thank you. That wraps up our session today for Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. Thanks so much for that. I enjoyed our chat. Thank you to our viewers for watching.
Thank you so much.